Hi everybody, welcome to session 5. In this section here, on this session, we're going to look at qualifications, teaching and the matrix links. This was the part of the training that we didn't get to in the short sessions the other day, so you're all probably waiting to find out how to do this. It's really simple. One thing I have to note though, before we start, you must have completed all of the components prior to. If you haven't, it doesn't work. So you need to make sure that you've updated all your information under content competency, you've updated all of your information under assessment competency, and also under currency. Okay, remembering you do not have to answer facilitation competency, and professional development requirements are only relevant to you if there's a requirement to update a ticket or something that you might need to do. I'll step back into that one under miscellaneous. Okay, so for this section here, what you need to firstly do is identify what qualification it is that you're currently delivering for this semester or this year. As I've noted previously, I would be recommending that you're just reviewing your TPMS at the end of each semester. You would definitely be doing this at the end of the year, because at the end of the year it's on your checklist to do. But if you get into the habit of updating as you go, or updating at the end of each term or end of each semester, or adding your information in as you do an additional course, you're going to find it much easier to manage. So first thing we're going to do, I'm actually going to use the hairdressing example, saying all of my qualifications sit in that space. So you need to understand as well that this pulls all of the information from ISIS around the state. So it's usually easy, at least if you start off with the first letter of your qualification of the code. So I'm looking for SHB. So you can see there's lots of quals. So you need to be quite accurate with what you're doing. So, okay, so we're going to go to here, which is the most current qualification, the one that the team is delivering at the moment. Okay, so we click on that one. As you can see, it's come up there. What then happens is it lists all of the units of competency that are aligned to the certificate that you've selected or the qualification that you've selected. Okay, so there's a couple of ways. So what you need to do is you need to check off these, the ones that you currently deliver. So you can either go select all core competencies, select all competencies if you're actually delivering every single one of those. You can reset it if you make a mistake, or you can do manual, or you can do a bit of both. So let me show you. So I'm going to say let's select all core competencies, because in the hairdressing qualification there are a significant number of core units and there's very few electives. What you will then do is then you go in and select those electives that you might be delivering. So just for example, I'm going to click on these, all of these cutting ones, and maybe some of these ones, being aware of what the requirement is for our delivery here at Southwest and what it is that I'm actually doing. So look, that's just an example there, and we'll click those ones too. Okay. So what you then do after you've selected all of those units of competency that are relevant to you, we go save. Click OK, and it just takes. It has to think. So don't rush. If there's a whole bunch of people on here at once, it sometimes takes a little bit longer. So we'll just give it a moment or so. Still thinking. Excellent. Okay, so let's flick back to qualifications teaching. What it's done is it's added qualification up here. I'm currently delivering the 21 core units and then the 7 electives I might be delivering. Now, if you deliver more than one qualification, you can easily add that to here. I'm only just going to give you an example of one, but you can add multiple up here, and sometimes that's not a bad thing either. If you've got, say, certificate 2, certificate 3, certificate 4 that you happen to be delivering in all of those areas, and they have common core units, I would be selecting all of your qualifications first. Okay. So we've got this here. If you want to modify it, you can go in and modify, same as what we've done before. Or if you've selected an incorrect qualification, or you've made you meant to put certificate 2 or diploma or whatever, you can always delete this one out and then go back and redo again. So it's not hard. Okay, but if you want to add another one, very simple. You can either type in the first letter again, or you can scroll right down through this to find it. So once you've got your qualification in here, simple process, come down then on the left hand side navigation panel and click on matrix links. So what we're actually going to do here is we're going to show evidence of why I can deliver and assess in those areas that I've said I'm delivering and assessing in. So you can see I've already done a couple of these thus far. You can cluster them together. So for example, this one was all of the hair cutting units. So I clustered those together because pretty much my information is my evidence of currency and competency is going to link fairly much to all of that as a one structure. Okay, so you can do it unit by unit. In some instances, you will have to do it unit by unit, but if you can cluster it, it does make your life a little bit easier. So I'm going to give you an example here. So I'm going to select, and we'll do another clustered one again. So this is around colour. Right, so I've selected those 3 there. You then scroll down and you go construct matrix. It's just thinking. Now you'll note that in previous sessions I've spoken to the fact that you really don't need to double up on information and you really don't need irrelevant information in here. The reason why I've said that is when you come to this point here you end up with loads of stuff that you have to read through and it can make it quite complex for you. So if you've only got it entered once, makes your life so much easier. So I'll just show you. So in some instances I had double ups of things because I've been cutting and pasting to give examples and I hadn't gone back to change that, and also things in incorrect areas. So you'll see as I scroll down here, so this is in the content competency, you'll actually see it actually still has my TAA, my old TAA in here, which I didn't need to see, and so on. So it's important to just remember that if you've doubled up, you're going to see it twice, or if you've tripled up, you're going to see it 3 times. So make your life a little bit easier and don't have it in every spot if you don't have to. Work history. This is why I was saying it's really important for you to give some detailed evidence around what it is that you currently do if you work in industry. Reason being, and we'll flip back to that first example I gave you with me as a hairdresser, and thermal straightening wasn't something that we did when I was an apprentice and did my trade qual and the outcome of that. I can actually show through here, if I had selected thermal straightening, that I could actually give evidence to say why I can deliver that, because I could show I've done some non-accredited training as well as evidence in the salon. Is that sufficient? Need to have a conversation with my faculty director. Should I just RPL that unit? Could possibly do that, but just something to think about. So you need to have a good amount of information in this work history here. So okay, so when we're looking at this here, I'm going to flick back up here to the top and off we're going to go. So all it is a simple matter of just clicking and checking on what it is that's relevant to these 3 units of competencies. So my trade qualification, my certificate 4 has no relevance there. Oh look, I've got trade qual twice, so I should really get rid of that. This one does, because this is my old, where are we here, colouring. It's my trade qual, what went along with my trade. Cert 4, no, that needs to be removed. I would then go through these here and select the ones that are relevant in here. You can also see when I flick back through, hey look, I've got Hair Expo, which was a trade show in some parts, so I need to do a bit of work. This is where in my work history, I'm coming down through here and I'm looking for the components that link to colouring. Okay, and there could be a variety of things. Even though I've broken it up and talked about treatments, it does very much talk about the hair and scalp needs. So I could say that because I've looked at it. Oh, look, apply and remove colour. I've said that there. Could even be sustainability, and I know I've got some sustainability in here somewhere. So it's about thinking, you are the content expert. What is it that's required in those units of competency? How do I demonstrate that? Okay, so just go down through here. There's more things I could check on there. Facilitation, don't have to worry about. Like I said, for those Bremer staff that might have done that before, you can map it if you want. You don't have to. Assessment competency, so this is around what gives evidence that I can assess in that space. So definitely my TAE. and the components of that, so the assessment competencies, all of this would be relevant. And there could be components within my bachelor and also my master's qualification as well. So I'm just going to just, I'm giving you some examples. We're just making a matrix so that you can see what happens here. I've got that 3 or 4 times, so you can see the complexity there. Because I've copied that over to facilitation so many times to show an example, it's repeated so many times in here. Again, here's all my training courses. If I just put it all in one spot here, it might be easier to read. It's up to you. Do what's easiest for you. Okay, so I've checked through all of that. Do the items listed above only allow the staff person to tutor? No. Okay, so it's save. Go, okay. It's just thinking. Okay, so you can see now beside these here, we've actually got evidence of an assessment matrix or matrix links being completed where it says yes. Okay, so before I jump in there and show you this, you need to do this whether it's in clusters or whether it's in, single units, whatever is the appropriate way. You being the vocational person understands how that looks. And if you don't, have a conversation with your faculty director or your ETL for assistance. But in the vocational space, you are the expert. So clicking 1, 2, 3, whatever works, then going back and doing this. So what we're going to do is now have a bit of a look at this. So we can go, okay, so for colour and light and hair, what evidence do I have that shows I am vocationally current and competent and educationally current and competent to deliver and assess in this space? And if we go view, you can actually see all of the things that I have checked on that list actually come up here. So it actually gives a very clear picture of what that is and how I provide that evidence to that space. So fairly simple process. Look, does it take up time? Yes, it's like anything, it takes a little bit of time to get it happening, but once you've actually done it once, it's just a matter of then reviewing. Okay, so next session 6, which is the final one, I'm going to talk about miscellaneous, what you can put in there, and also I'll just touch on professional development requirements as well because we didn't actually touch on that before. So thanks very much.